just filling your car, you know, and if you're lucky to have one that wouldn't cost you much every Friday, why not? Some would realize.
Anyways, to bust your bubble, I have an O1 bet.
I hope you'll be taking it with you.
This time around, you'll be busy now.
No, at a big time. I'm telling you.
Like I said last week, and I'm saying it again, that, you know, we are always very busy, especially with the kind of job we do. You can hardly have time for yourself. And at the end of the day, after here, it's home. You have a home to cater for.
I used to say that is the shift too.
Exactly. It's supposed to be the shift one because it's the most important.
Yeah, you start with it.
You start with it. You end with it. As women, as human beings generally, you must find time to relax. It's very important. You know, there are stories everywhere. Someone just slump, and that's all. This one today slump, that's all. You know, people don't have time anymore to take care of themselves, and even have time to even align and be happy. See, happiness is important too. So if it's via Owambe, now you go get your own. The only thing is, Shade said it all, don't incur unnecessary debts because you want to go for Owambe. It's not the best.
But you know, the way you said unwind, you know, it's making me feel like she loves Owambe.
Growing up, I love to party because I'm growing up. Yes, I love to party. Because of why I was willing to ask you. I love to dance. Anywhere there is music, anywhere there is the only thing is I won't go do what will hurt me eventually. So I love it. I had a lot of outings while I was in school. I growing up with my friends. We partying a lot. Seriously. So
today's confession Friday. And I think that maybe after the show she's going to give us 1 or 2 steps. Let's confirm that. It's one thing to say that it's right.
Please we need to party.
Okay.
You know, you still got your steps. Want to
let me still just have groove on.
Okay, yes, it's good to really unwind. It might not be parties per se. You can choose to unwind. How do you do it? I read an author who says she enjoys just staring at the winds blow the trees, but it helps her to unwind and begin to think of the infinite love of God, that if He so much could provide for these natural things that are today and no more tomorrow. For instance, the flowers, they blossom, you know, and before you know it, the flowers wither away, and yet they are well arrayed, you know, in their beauty. So how much more? So if that is your own kind of unwinding, why not? I like to unwind on farms because I like to see the plants grow, chips and things like that.
And that's also another one. Some people like to unwind by reading.
By reading, read adventurous stories.
Some it might be watching a lot of movies
or even listening to music. Yes, anything that makes you feel calm and relaxed. You should have it.
That's it. Calm and relaxed is the word. Because right now life expectancy keeps dropping. I think for women it's 53 plus. For men, just 50 plus. For God's sake, please unwind though. Enjoy.
Make time for yourself.
And make sure you enjoy part of that also. You know, it's good to save, but don't save everything up because tomorrow is not even promised.
That's another thing.
That's another angle.
May we have the grace for tomorrow.
Amen.
Okay. Yes, to the business of the day. I think we've charged you enough on how to unwind this weekend. As we begin with the newspapers headlines, and we've got a couple of newspapers here this morning. We'll begin with The Guardian. Yes, The Guardian to guide the weekend. On The Guardian newspaper this morning are these headlines. 2027, opposition kicks as Tinubu hails the factions APC endorsement. Details of that you find on page 6 of The Guardian this morning. President submits 1.48 trillion rivers appropriation bill to Senate. Yeah, you might wonder why the president is submitting it. That's because right now the governor is on suspension and they have an emergency government there. And for development of the state to keep going on, something has to be presented, and that's what the president is doing that. You find details of that on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. 2027 SDP's Adebayo rejects Atiku, may step down for Obi. Okay, you find details of that on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Still on the Guardian, Akpabio Bello may testify as federal government files criminal charges against Natasha, the Natasha series.
It's like it's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away.
Okay, so this time federal government has sued Natasha, criminal
for
charges,
defamation.
yes, against her. And now I can tell you, Bello will gladly testify against Natasha. So is that for
Because of the
what do you
beef.
expect?
Yes,
that
the beef is deep.
that have been there.
Yes.
And there's something they say: your enemy's enemy
Is
is
your
your
friend.
I
I think we all thought, oh, this drama has been going on for a while now, but I can tell you that it just started.
no, every time there is a twist to
Yes.
it, it's like
Something else is coming.
road. You get to the end of a bend,
And
you see a
you
straight
see-
route, then when you're getting to that
You
end, there's
see another one, yes.
So it's multifaceted,
Dimensional.
yes, and I hope that the judiciary will actually sort every of these facets to it,
Yes.
because Natasha has her own case there, sorted, as everything will be sorted, like cold noodles, how everything cakes. It's not easy to detangle cold noodles. So let's see how the judiciary
Sticks together
let's see how the
like that.
judiciary is going to separate this. Maybe put it on fire again, then add some water. Every strand will stay apart.
Okay.
That's why we have them.
Okay, so details of that you find on page 30, and that's if this guy too is not adding to the list of testifiers. Reno Omokri.
Hopefully it doesn't take
Because you also know that
They had
against him in the past.
Okay, vacate alliance before June. Chief Counsel tells elders. That's a deep one there. Well, let's see. There are no comments, please. On page 30 of the Guardian holds the story. You find details of it there. And on page 3, Dangote slashes petrol price as independent marketers undercut price. You find details of that on page 30. I think it's a sharing one, and we have some more stories on it as we proceed.
We keep hearing of
Yes.
slashing petrol price, sometimes 2 naira, so 5
It's
naira.
still a slash.
Now it's 15 naira.
Wow.
But I bet you won't get to see 15 naira slash.
We
at the
hope to.
goods in the
We
market.
hope
So,
we hope to.
I don't know when this will start
we see-
reflecting.
We need to see the
on-
effect of
Yes.
it, not just hearing about it,
Exactly.
but it should also be something we are seeing. The effect should be in the market.
Exactly.
Yes.
Alright, taxi drivers too, maybe they'll begin to slash, because if it was an increase, we would have experienced it automatically, immediately.
Even
Even
when we
before
step
they
out.
buy it at that point, we've started paying.
They tell you,
It's now high. Petrol price has gone up by 10 naira. And so
They're very
instead of adding 10 naira
they have
to transfer, they have 50. Now they will tell you, why we can't reduce it because the cost of other things.
Yes.
For repairs of the car and maintenance is high, so we can't.
There's always something to just justify their action.
Whatever goes up in Nigeria
Never comes down.
It's difficult to come down.
Yes.
So the Patriots, Southwest stakeholders demand new constitution through federalism, equity. You find details of that on page 7. Defect with me to APC or resign. Governor in tells cabinet.
Ooh. This is new, because I remember there was a time he said there was rumor that he's going to defect, and he says no, I'm not going to defect. I will do what people want. Whatever makes my people happy is what I would do. But now it's defect with me
or resign. I mean, should it get to that? Is it a military rule?
Oh wow!
You have to see the details of that and check page 7 of the Guardian this morning.
And we're saying we're not gravitating towards one party system.
We still have a long time till 2027. A lot can still happen. You understand? A lot can still happen. Although we can see people defecting from LP, but it's not as much as the ones from PDP to APC. So let's still wait till 2027 and see what happens. Who knows? They might come back.
Big defection and
redefection, of course.
Okay.
Let's move to Daily Trust newspaper. We have assassination claim. FG files criminal charges against Senator Natasha. Okay, I think we spoke about that already, but then you can get more on that on page 7. And okay, we have despite 6-time price cuts by Dangote, petrol costs still high. That's on page 15. But then that's what we've been saying, that even when these prices are being slashed, are we actually seeing the effects of it in the market space? Of course not. We are not saying that. And then we have League of Northern Democrats backs coalition against Tinubu, and that's on page 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Tinubu's endorsement, what Nigeria think, what Nigerians think, and that's on page 3, 4, and 5.
So what Nigerians think?
What do you think? What do you think? I think people should. It's getting to the point where we need to go on the street and actually ask Nigerians, what do you really think about this? Is this what we want? How is it gonna be?
That's part of perspective.
Yes, perspective.
Yes. Okay, moving on. 1,593 Nigerians killed in road crashes in 3 months, and that's on page. Okay, it's on the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, I think page 6. Yes, page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. What do you have for us?
Alright, I will be taking headlines from Nigerian Tribune. It's the story of APC adopting Tinubu. It's on virtually all the newspapers. And here is a rider to that on Nigerian Tribune. Governors, NAS members endorse him at party's national summit. And it says, another rider is, I'm expecting more defections into ruling party. That's coming from Tinubu himself, Jagaba himself. Page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune has that story. So go there and read more. You want to say something?
Yes, can Nigerians actually understand the thought process of politicians? I mean,
not go that area, because you would really think and search, and you will
find answers.
Yes, because today they are like sworn enemies. Tomorrow they are allies.
They are never politicians are never enemies.
Okay,
seriously, yes, part of the game. Because the moment they come to us and speak ill of each other in the public, you will find them at parties or nights together, hanging out, taking drinks together. See, they're never enemies. So forget now. What did they use?
So, oh goodness! I think it's high time we decided not to be used.
It's in your hands, it's in my hands, it's in everybody's hands, in our hands. So for us to know that, I refuse to play their game.
I said, moved on.
You're supposed not end. But unfortunately, like I said, they increase the more.
Discussion continues.
Still from the Nigerian Tribune, Dangote refinery reduces petrol price again by 15 naira. Tinubu seeks National Assembly approval of 1.4 trillion naira 2025 Rivers budget. Rivers, the Natasha issue is also screaming there, but I won't take that. Federal government to inaugurate textile clusters in Lagos.
That'll be nice.
Agro processing hubs in Kano. Like you said, let me also go with you. That will be very, very nice. Alright, Tinubu inaugurates NNPC board tax members with boosting oil output. Very important. Very, very important.
The story for the inauguration of textile clusters and the agro-processing hubs, I think it's okay. Considering the number, the quantity and quality of fabrics we buy in this country. I mean, why shouldn't we have textile hubs? Even in every state.
In every state.
Ordinarily in other states in a weekend. Do you know how many people in an office, please?
Oh my God.
We even have one in our midst.
I'm so sad. I'll speak to this
in an average office that has like 100 staff, at least on the average in a month they will buy close to 2 to 3 ashwebi.
True, very correct.
And all the establishment to know what it runs to. So it doesn't do us any good. Keep importing this.
When
we have the hubs in Nigeria, we can produce it.
And especially as the government is looking towards the Nigerian first policy, as in we need to start Nigeria. So we need to start patronizing our own things, and of course make sure that for us to patronize our things, it means that industries must spring up. There must be production.
The market is there.
Yes, it's already there.
Yes.
So we pray that the only other thing is let them produce quality.
Yes. And when we talk about these agro-business hubs too, it's okay because we have quite a lot of agricultural products that most of us are wasted. For instance, recently I saw a lady in Rivers State making fiber extensions from plantain. Not the bunch now. What do we call it now? The trunk. Yes, the trunk.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Felling, that's what one would naturally think is a complete or total waste. No, but she was harvesting, going to farms, collecting this plantain trunks, and then make them go through some processes that are not even so
tedious.
Industrial, so to speak, because she was using some manual means, and before you know it, we have these hair extensions, being produced, and on like that. A lot of things that we waste in this country.
That kind of person needs to be supported. She needs the support, because who would have thought you could use that to actually produce extensions? And I think most of these things we even import them. So imagine if we can actually invest in someone like that. It's going to even improve the standard of living.
Considering the cost of the
extensions right now.
To have a proper braid,
you know how much you spend in the market.
As people are talking about it, the only thing that one of the things that came to mind is the fact that at least we go rest from. You go carry Oyibo.
That's convince those people that now we are
that's another angle, because I think we all have that perspective that it's from the white people there, they called white people. So now I think when you are being accused of that, you'll be like, no, my own is plantain.
And when you actually look at the plantain trunk, and when it starts decaying, you will see that it has this
filament.
It's like so it's really, really.
The process does not involve decay.
No, I know. I'm just saying
they
that
try to remove the moisture from it to make it dry. Then there's salting or salt.
Such person should be supported.
Exactly what I said.
Supported
and given all she needs to really.
If such company is supported, do you know how many states will be producing this? Because actually here in Southwest we have plantain role, like
everywhere.
I think Nigerians are industrious and creative.
Yes.
Because I'm sure, how did she even know you can actually use this for this? I'm sure a lot of people are not even aware of that. So Nigerians, I'm just saying it from the first time, we are very creative. And if we have more creative minds like this, I'm sure Nigeria will do so well in the industry of producing.
And also job opportunities. That's very key. Because you will have taken in, she will be able to train people and take people off the streets and all that. Then we don't wait for the white collar job anymore. We are industrious.
So that's just it. It will be a good move there.
Alright, that's it from Nigerian Tribune. Let's take another one, Shadi.
Yes, the Daily Times. On the Daily Times this morning, INEC launches AI division to enhance electoral integrity. How that will work? Don't ask me. Check page 2 of the Daily Times this morning for that detail. We have this one. Okay, alleged defamation. Senator Natasha slammed 3 counter criminal charge there. So the Daily Times also has this: Tinubu not controlled by any cabal. Minister. Well, we've not heard much about cabal.
Yes,
I think it's the cabal himself. He's sufficiently
enough to cabal himself. Really, he's the godfather himself. So what I would say, who has the power to cabal the cabal?
It's the cabal himself. Minister says, okay, we have this ESN illegal, Amotekun legal. DSS clarifies. Okay, I think that's, you check page 2 of the Daily Times for details on that story. Science tech education priority for Bayelsa, says Governor Jiri. Should be priority, really. Check page 2 for details on that story. Tinubu presents 481 trillion budgets, yes, to reps. It's on page 2. Page 2 is just loaded. Same. Governor Eno urges NIPR to rebrand Nigeria's image. Is it about just saying Nigeria? Good people, great Nigeria. It's not about that. It's about really engendering these things, in the heart of every citizen. And it's not just by word of mouth. I mean, when the nation is working for you, you will also say that it's working, irrespective. So I think that's
we always say, please,
let's experience it. Then we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Before Americans woke up and say, God bless America, they're enjoying it. As much as I don't agree with people who will rather curse Nigeria, God forbid, use all manner of derogatory statements on Nigeria. I think probably when we start saying the positive into Nigeria, we might just start saying it. It might not be necessarily copying America to say God bless Nigeria, but let's pick good things into this country.
Let's copy it.
Think about that. You need to copy. When you pray for yourself, pray for the country, because if the country is okay, it will be better for you. So that's thing of Nigeria is not good, Nigeria is bad. I want to run away.
Who starts first? Rebranding Nigeria, okay? The leaders or the followers? Who starts first?
We can.
I think it's a collective effort.
It's a collective effort. You can start in your own little space. That space that you are in. No, learn to do something good. Start from there. If you, as a staff, a boss somewhere, and all you think about is how you want to make your subordinate angry, you want to frustrate your subordinate's life, that space that you're being given, you're not doing something positive, then do you expect the leader to come and do it for you? Before you start talking about leader, I understand that part where you're going, that the leaders need to start it probably, because give us all of those things,
give us security,
give us the necessary,
give us the
amenities, happy. Yes, I get that. I get that point, that part of it. I mean, taxpayers' money. Let's see how it is being judiciously used for the common man. Great, but also it's collective. you said, if the government is doing all they can and you in your space you're not doing what is right.
It's just like when you talk about providing amenities and all, we can see that we have street lights and others, but they're being vandalized. So that's why I said it's a collective effort. And then we as Nigerians, they say when you speak something positive, you tend to see things in a positive perception. So when you keep saying, oh, Nigeria is this, you keep cursing, you'll probably be seeing those negative things because that's your focus. So let's try to focus on the positive.
Positive. Speak positive. Keep praying. Let's keep fasting.
No, that's not what I'm not saying don't pray. I will also say don't fast. But the prayer and the fasting will not do it alone.
Yes.
If you don't work. They said how is this said in the Bible? The prayer work
yes, show me your faith, by works.
So it's
faith without work
is dead. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So you work too. You need to do something very important.
Okay, talking about doing something very important, I think that does it there from the Daily Times.
Okay, I have some headlines from Daily Independent.
Okay.
Yes, this is coming from, Tinubu. He says, PDP orders dead, just empty vessels left behind. He says he's optimistic of more defections to APC. Declares party did not force anyone to join them. APC governors NAS leadership endorsed Tinubu for 2027. What we are doing to make Nigeria safer by Ribadu. Tinubu's endorsement, sign of unease within APC. Okay, more on that is on page 29.
That's just the twist to it, unease. Yes. Because some bigger wigs will come into the party, and some people who had been loyal within the party will have to move back a little to accommodate the bigger defectors. Let's see how it goes with it.
Like I said, 2027 is still coming. But then we have it's far, but if you look at it from another angle, it's still very close. You get
very close.
But then there's enough time for any twist. Let me call it. I don't want to say anything. I want to say any twist to happen.
Let's see where it twists.
Let's see. Okay, yes, we have Nigeria now prime investment destination, says Shetima. More on that is on page 7 of the Daily Independent. 2027, Northern Democrats join forces against Tinubu, and that's on page 6. Then we have Tinubu asks NNPCL board to consolidate on gains of economic reforms. That's on page 7 also on the Daily Independent. Then we have Earthsmen attack, claims 2 soldiers, 2 civilians in Benue. Earthsmen all the time. What are we going to do? Okay.
Oh yeah, the security knows what to do. If you see something,
say something. We really pray that security personnel know what to do. They are doing, and actually, but it's as if their effort is not visible yet, though they are doing all they can to. Somebody made a comment recently. I'm trying to remember who says, I guess it's the governor of. What state now? I can't actually.
Borno?
Is it Borno? Zulum? He said that some of our military personnel are culpable in this, that there are things going on there that we don't know. They are sellouts. So, in as much as we won't say, yes, they are doing what they can, they're trying, they need to do more. That's military circle. A lot needs to be done.
I think we have more on that. The Borno State Governor, this Zulum. We have more stories on that to talk about. So maybe when we get to the trending stories, we'll make mention of that. So yes, and still on Daily Independent. FG files criminal charges against suspended Senator Natasha. Okay, I think we already spoke about that, and I think that's all we have for Independent, Daily Independent. Let's move on.
Oh, you have the Vanguard?
All right, the Vanguard. Okay, let me search that. Vanguard newspaper. It says still on the coming election. That's Vanguard newspaper. It's our next point of call with this headlines. 2027. I am expecting more defections to APC. Actually, all the newspaper has this, and that's coming from Tinubu. You can also get that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Beg your pardon. All right, this one is Otedola. Tinubu Cardoso's policies revive investors' confidence. I guess we also heard that in one of the newspapers before now. Okay.
Virtually all the stories. Okay, let's see.
It's still okay. You have something. Tinubu seeks National Assembly approval for 1.481 trillion naira Rivers budget. That's this Rivers. I'm not going to talk. Let's hear something.
You have a story there on page 8 as well.
Boko Haram informants. We tackled insecurity. APC escalated it. That's coming from PDP. You can see that on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. It says Boko Haram informants. We tackled insecurity. That's coming from APC. APC escalated it. That's coming from PDP.
From PDP, yes.
PDP is saying that they tackled it when they were in government.
Were able to tame it. But now it's gone.
I think last week Atiku made mention of something like that too, saying during 2002 when he was still in office with Obasanjo, that was when Boko Haram insurgency just started coming, but they tackled it because they were swift and they were fast. They knew what to do.
What happened with the regime?
Yes, he said when they
had
left,
a lot of killings. In fact, then it was invasion of churches. You know,
and Abuja
was totally.
He said it was when they left that the government that entered after them did not handle it, which led to the escalation.
We're lucky because that
just started.
Let's say it was.
You can easily tame
stage, but now it's grown.
It's not easy.
So let's see. Wrapping it up with The Nation. On The Nation newspaper this morning is still the 2027 story of how APC National Working Committee, governors and federal lawmakers endorsed Tinubu. Presidents accept sole candidacy. So that means we're not expecting primaries in APC settled.
It's settled.
Tinubu is the candidate.
It's a done deal.
While we're still not sure on which platform other previous contenders who we know are still interested will be contesting. For instance, Peter Obi of LP is not even sure if he's going to be on that platform again because we are reading stories of him contesting under another party and hearing stories of coalition. Maybe it's going to be vice to a lot is happening there. Well, trust Nigerian political landscape, always interesting. And we have this one, Otedola. Tinubu's Cardoso's policy revive investor confidence. Let's see the investment coming in. We actually need it. The ordinary citizens need such investments, to be at least create job opportunities, business opportunities, and
of course.
Federal government files. You've heard that on the previous papers we've taken. Yes, with this we call it a wrap on newspapers headlines for this morning. We take a short break now. When we return, we'll bring to you gist, on the trends from the social media. Don't go away.
day she was in bed now. This day it's a New Telegraph. They took it before.
Was it take you?
Okay, independent, yeah. So
it used to be 30 minutes. Bien qu'à son midi, qu'à faire go. Yes, it's nice to know that you're still with us on Perspectives, and we promised you that when we return from that break, we'll be talking about the trending stories. One of the stories we have here that it's trended, you know, but later was found to be of fake news. You know, that's one of the dangers of fake news. People peddle certain information, and then it will later be discovered, you know, to be fake. And one of such is the story of this lady that's said to have converted yes, to Christianity, and then the news says, or the trend says, she was facing persecution and prosecution in a Sharia court, and that story has come to be debunked. That it's fake, it's false. In fact, that the lady is not even in Nigeria. I mean, it's not based in Nigeria. Yes, the lady is said to be a 22-year-old Zainab Muhammadu, you know, who is said to be facing death penalty in Zamfara State because she converted to Christianity. Christianity. I mean,
How do you cook this story?
Exactly.
Because now you just said she's not Nigerian. She's not in Nigeria. Is she in Nigeria?
No, she's not in Nigeria.
How is she even facing?
She might be in Nigeria,
Okay,
but
not
she's not
in Nigeria.
Yes, she has a citizenship of another country. Yes,
Okay.
and who sat down and just thought
And prepared that meal.
and
And they served it to people.
Yes.
And a lot of people have started relishing it, enjoying it.
That's why they say it's not everything you see that is trending that you digest.
Yes.
It's not everything, because some things can be trending doesn't mean they are true.
Yes.
So you need to get your facts right before you also spread those informations.
And I like the fact that the Zamfara state government came out early to debunk that allegation, and he says, the governor says, is the handiwork of enemy of peace, and I kind of totally agree with that. Seriously, it's really not cool to just sit down and come up with something that is not real, and then you start spreading and start giving out to people, and then some people just enjoy to have fake news too, because immediately they take it and start spreading to
it still brings us back to the issue of regulating the social media in Nigeria. Most of the time when the government wants to do it, people come out with the story of clamming down on media protections.
The story of they come down with this fact that you want to
You're trying to
have freedom of speech.
Yes,
exactly. That you're trying to you don't want to give them freedom of speech because your government is not, so you don't want people to talk and all of that. You're trying to keep them mute. But the truth is, when you look at things like this, why won't government
come out and do something?
As one discussion we had on one of our shows with I think it was a press week with some of the AUG executives some years ago. The result was, maybe if the government had involved practitioners in the process,
core
media practitioners to sit and talk about how we can regulate the social media.
So it will no longer be about
tagging. Yes, at least journalists are there, so they know what
the
conforms with the ethics of the job and what does not. You understand? Maybe that would make it work, and the government could look at that angle, because there is really harm to it. You can imagine the fear it created in the hearts of people. That it's just for my faith.
Not just fear. This is trying to create religious war.
Ceremony. That's true.
Yes,
that's true. And the government went further. The press release said nothing of such even existed.
Not just that nothing happened, but it doesn't even exist.
Yes, nothing of such. Nothing. There is no case related to that in any of these Sharia courts in Zamfara state. So where did that person get it from? Knowing the sensitivity of such news.
They say journalists should have nose for news.
And these are not journalists.
Some people have nose for bad news.
The point is that most of the people doing this,
they're not. I agree with you.
That's why they're not. Everybody claim to be journalists now, just because
you can search for story and you can just put it out there. Doesn't make you journalist
or take any shot. In the ethics of the job, there are certain shots that are considered offensive. Even when you have it, you don't post it like that. You don't use it.
A professional knows.
You blossom. There are angles to it.
We shouldn't even call them journalists. We should call them content creators.
They're not journalists.
They are not. They're just content creators looking for anything they can lay their hands on and just post it just to trend.
And maybe to just bust the bubbles of people who are in this habit. Remember, there was this guy who during the campaigns for the last election, was in the habit of posting fake stories and all of that. He posted one fake story about the former governor of Lagos State and former minister of power, that is Raji Fashola, saying he was the one that perfected the court ruling, for the president and what have you. So when the law enforcement were after him, he ran out of the country. But because the habit is in him, and he did not let him rest, he got to that country where he went and perpetrated some fraudulent acts there. So the law enforcement agent of that country was after him. Trust that he felt he could sneak back into Nigeria. He was caught. He ran straight into the net and he was caught.
So it's not good, really.
So please, just come on. Look at the panic it will create. Look at the disaffection it will create. Look at the damage it will create.
All right. Before at 10, we'll be taking a break to take developing stories, but this one is quite interesting, and I wish I said
does it concern you?
You says Nigeria Marshals praises her wife after she filled his tank with fuel worth 75k.
Wow. You will sing
I think we women, we should also get
let's change the narrative.
This is the act of surprising our men. Now, I think I saw the video. You needed to see how excited the man was. And the woman, she's always she knows she knows her onion. You need to see where she was doing like this. It was just so fun to watch. It's just so fun.
Yes, we can. Why not? So, ladies, that's an example. Let's go there. Let's follow. Like, let sisterhood be proud of you.
You know why it made headlines and it's news? Because one, the situation we are in right now. Give, collect from the man. But this woman said, no, now wait, see, let me surprise now.
Okay, I think I followed them up. Sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, she also filled the gas cylinder at home. And she was like, baby, he said yes, come on, I've done something. She was like this. I was like, oh, okay. It's just so nice.
Most women do all of this.
Some
women do these things and they don't come on social media.
Of course.
It was the man
it also shows how appreciative the man is. Because there are men that really these things the women do it at home. They still don't
even much more
as anything. But the man, he was so happy about
some
it.
getting suspicious of you.
Now you're receiving.
Now you're filling the tank. You just be like, let me just I change somewhere before she comes back to abuse me with it. Yes. Women are like that.
Yes.
They give and then they come back to say, the last time see
was I the one?
Because I think when some women do things like that, they tend to maybe want to use it to rub shoulders with the men and tell him that yes, you are doing this, I can also do it. And I think maybe that's why some men are reluctant about allowing their women to actually help them, because they don't want you to come to man and say, I filled gas. Didn't I fill your car too? So I think maybe that is right. But then it should be an act that should be encouraged.
Exactly.
Love is a beautiful thing. I love the fact that at least we're not talking about spasa and use or you see things like this.
If your wife has got some naira in your wallet,
let us know. And if your husband also dropped something on your wallet, I think let's also appreciate our men.
Women should appreciate
let's
men.
appreciate our men.
Irrespective of the fact that it is their duty.
Yes. But it's not easy. Just because it's their duty doesn't make it easy.
What did you say just now when you talked about life expectancy of the woman to the man?
Yes, they have a lot on their shoulder.
Really on their shoulder. So we need to encourage
But I also saw a text too. The guy read a text sent by the wife where the wife was saying honey, sugar, and like hyping the man. The man just responded, please, the money. The
all the sweet words means I know what you're looking for. That's why I'm having all this sweetness.
Let's not only be nice when we want something.
But what if the man had misinterpreted the
We know women.
No, there's also a possibility. It might be something else you even want to say. Before he did that night have been the usual practice. He knows her so much.
I'll be like, this one is coming with something.
Or someone that says, okay, those guys that create content, the says, okay, call your husband now and tell him sweet words. And then the next thing say, hello, Kiyoshi. Are you fine? Did you breakfast someone?
Why are you being sweet all of a sudden?
That is not there before.
Let's normalize this.
Yes, because if it's a norm, they won't mean it to it that, maybe she needs something, or maybe he has done something.
It also goes to, apart from celebrating special days, when you celebrate special days, anniversary and all that, it is, women always expect gift from the man. But please, let's use the verse.
Not buy only boxers.
Not Valentine's Day. I mean, do something nice for your man. And when it's not, please also learn to do things at home.
Yes, learn to do things that is within your capacity to assist your husband, and be appreciative to
don't be suspicious.
And don't be suspicious when we call you the sweet name.
Your relationship, just be open-minded.
Alright, it's really Friday, and I think we're setting the tone for you to know that yes, let's relax this mood.
I think we're setting the romantic tone.
Yes, you can do that. Continue from there when we stop. But then we're not stopping here yet. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be back with the
more Traders Diaries.
Don't go away.
It's a new dawn in Ondo State as Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa prioritizes his 7-point development agenda tagged Our Ease. In line with promoting transparency and engaging with the people of Ondo State, Osrc Television presents Sunshine Diary to bring you comprehensive coverage of Ondo State government's activities and policies. Sunshine Diary features segments such as policy analysis with government officials, project updates, feedback from you, the people, etc. What better way to stay abreast and close to the government that will take us to our ease? Join us on Sunshine Diary right here on Osrc Television on Tuesday by 7:30 p.m. while the repeat edition would air on Friday by 6:30 p.m. You can also watch and engage with us on our Facebook page OSRC TV and follow us on YouTube at OSRC TV Ondo. Sunshine Diary, keeping you close to the government that guarantees our ease. Odatiwa Odiroro. It is indeed our time to experience ease in Ondo State.
The Ondo State House of Assembly has received the report of its ad hoc committee set up to investigate the remote causes of the crisis at Rufus Giwa Polytechnic or war. The committee, after thorough deliberation and consultations, has made far-reaching recommendations aimed at restoring lasting peace and progress to the institution. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshiliola Adesoya Jaye now reports.
Following recent unrest and lingering issues at Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, the Ondo State House of Assembly constituted an ad hoc committee to unravel the root causes of the crisis and provide sustainable solutions. Presenting its report at the floor of the House through its chairman, Stephen Abitogun, the committee recommended that the school management, workers' unions, and the student union should engage in regular dialogue in resolving internal disputes and promote institutional harmony.
The payment of 6 months' salary arrears of workers should be given utmost attention and priority by the concerned authorities. This will go a long way in resolving the fact that a hungry man is an angry man.
Also, to forestall future unrest, the committee advised the school management to adopt a more diplomatic approach when responding to agitations by union leaders.
School management, workers' union, and students' union, as well as some other concerned individual bodies, should collaborate with the district governor through a courtesy visit with a view to presenting all the challenges that are facing the institution.
In a bid to boost the institution's internally generated revenue, other legislators who spoke tasked the school management on generating funds internally. The Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, while appreciating the committee for a job well done, promised to work closely with the executive arm of government in order to ensure implementation of the recommendations, aiming to restore stability and enhance the quality of education at the institution.
The government invite all the stakeholders, the rector and the management team, workers' union and the council for a meeting to give them abreast of the riot act as well as the penalty for the violators.
It will be recalled that in April 2025, staff of Rufus Giwa Polytechnic protested over unpaid salaries and the non-implementation of the national minimum wage, leading to an indefinite strike. Meanwhile, a bill for a law to amend the University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital Ondo State Law 2019 has also scaled through second reading and has been committed to a DOL committee on health for scrutiny. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
President Bola Tinubu says he is expecting more politicians to defect to the ruling of Progressive Congress ahead of the 2027 general elections. The president, who spoke at the APC Renewed Hope Agenda Summit held at the State House, Abuja, said he is happy with his administration's and party achievements, noting that defection is part of the game. According to a statement by his spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu addressed party leaders, the National Working Committee, the leadership of the National Assembly, and the Progressive Governors Forum, which comprises 22 governors, where all of them collectively endorsed him for a second term in office. The president said his administration's focus on economic reforms for long-term gains has continued to receive positive reviews from within and outside the country. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has donated 100 million naira on behalf of her Renewed Hope initiative to the 5 Cowries Arts Education Initiative. The donation was unveiled during a charity gala night organized by spouses of Heads of Mission in Nigeria in Abuja to support an art-based educational program. Senator Tinubu said the support will help unlock the creativity, talent, and potential of countless Nigerian children who deserve the opportunity to thrive and succeed. Organizers of the educational program thanked the donor, noting that the gesture was a significant boost for enhancing creative education among Nigerian children. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has announced the procurement of 20 electric buses which will be rolled out in the next few months. Oti spoke while addressing the Abba community, who organized a Thanksgiving carnival in celebration of the reconstruction and completion of Port Harcourt Road, abandoned for over 3 decades. He said bus terminals were being built for the transport system in the state, while 20 electric buses for transportation would be for the first batch. Senator Darlington Washer and the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Emmanuel Emerua, thanked OT for the unprecedented move in procuring vehicles that don't run on fuel. They said that the feat so far achieved by OT was a testament to our focused leadership in the state. A wave of criticism has trailed President Bola Tinubu's decision to present the 2025 appropriation bill of Rivers State to the National Assembly, with several senior advocates of Nigeria describing the move unconstitutional and a violation of Nigeria's federal structure. Tinubu's request for approval of the 1.48 trillion naira budget proposal was formally presented by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana said it is unconstitutional by virtue of Section 81 of the Constitution, as the President is only empowered to present budget of the federal government. In his reaction, constitutional lawyer Mike Ezekume went further, calling the entire emergency rule and the appointment of a sole administrator in Rivers State a constitutional aberration. Also weighing in, Professor Sam Erugo described the President's action a clear breach of Nigeria's federal structure, but justifying the submission of the estimate, Tinubu cited Regulation 4, Subsection 2 of the Emergency Rule 2025 provisions, which mandate national legislative oversight of state finances during emergency rule. No fewer than 52,000 Nigerians migrated to the United Kingdom in 2024. A newly released data from the UK Office for National Statistics places Nigeria among the top sources of non-European Union migration during the year. The influx came despite a significant decline in overall net migration to the UK, which dropped by nearly 50% in the year ending December 2024. The Office of National Statistics estimates net migration at 431,000, down from 800,000 in the previous years. And that's it on Developing Stories. Good morning.
So you're still with us on Perspectives this morning. Welcome back from our new studio where we took the developing stories there. Now we're going to continue with the trendy stories. This time the stories we have trending as well are not palatable ones, tragic in every sense, and so touching there. And maybe you two have had your thoughts, in the public space on the matter, probably on any of the social media platforms. You probably have said your own 2 cents on that. And that's about the story of the boy who suffered a stray bullet, right through stray bullet in Oyo State, while the father was taking him and some of to school. The story is a touching one. I think I should let Remy lead the talk.
Like you said, the mood really started from has affected everyone, and a lot of people, Nigerians, are talking about this. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's for any parent, you will feel so disturbed. Not only parents, even children are disturbed about this, and it's been a recurring thing, the issue of stray bullets in our society. And I think more needs to be done in that area. That's as regards the force, because I don't feel that except you are in the face of violence,